Hello guys and gals, and welcome back to War Thunder with Screezilla. I hope you're all well, and I hope you had a good New Year's. Now, today I'm going to be doing a video on scouting, and I'm going to be mainly doing the video on how to scout, how to use your scout vehicle effectively, and the best way to actually gain points for a game while scouting. Now I'm here in the AMX 1390, the French light tank with a 90mm gun, which has a heat-fin stabilised round. Now this round is not very powerful, and this round has a lot of issues, and that's a story for another day. But what I wanted to talk about is specifically the scouting aspect, and this is what I'm going to be doing in this game. Is I'm more so going to be scouting than shooting, and this is where this tank can excel at. It's quite a good scout. Now it does lack speed, so you can't get to the good spots easily. Now this Panther G here, I just scouted it, but I saw an open shot for it, took it so it couldn't capture C. Now if you look at the map here, the majority of our force are focusing on A and B. The majority of the enemy force, let's just pause it here and switch to the free camera. The majority of the enemy force are actually up over here in this area, basically camping it out, and they are pretty much putting an overwatch on C. Now C is one of the hardest caps on this map to get, because there's lots of good sniping spots to keep C pretty safe. So it's very hard to get into C. However, if you've got somebody scouting, you can actually use it to your advantage. So right now, what I'm doing is keeping an eye on where shots are coming from in third person, and then when I see something, I'm pinging it on the map. And I'm also being very careful not to get a shot here. So I can see a shot come out there. I can just see the top of the Panther there. I go in to sort of aim a shot, but I've also scouted them out. Now there's a Tiger 2 barreling down the hill right now. And I'm going to try for the shot right here. But I spot my Tiger up top there. I go for that shot. Managed to take out his breach. Ricochet the second shot, and he's out of my area. But now I've got a positions given away. So again, go back to scouting, ping the map. So with scouting, what will happen is the chevron will appear above the enemy, but also on your mini map, the area in which the enemy is will appear for your friends to see. So it's very handy in that respect, because you can actually show where enemy positions are. So this Panther here has got a very good sniping spot. There are also the Tigers up on the ridgelines there, again with very good sniping spots. So what I'm doing here is just keeping an eye on it, keeping an overwatch on C, so the enemy can't cap it. I have the firepower to sort of put people off coming down, but I'm not necessarily going to get those one-hit kills. So I'm more just harassing the enemy, and that's what you kind of need to do for scouting. Now, there are a few scout vehicles in the game now. Shot just rings out, and there's actually a Dicker Max sitting up on the hill now, and that's going to make my life a lot harder. But luckily I can just peek around this rock here, and I'm just out of his gun sight. But he knows my position. I think, in all honesty, I think he's somebody that I shot at earlier on, or my position's been given away by an enemy scout. So he's up there keeping me pinned in. However, I can still scout in this position, and that's allowed my team to get into C, because our snipers up on the hill over here are keeping them pinned down. and they're able to see where the enemy is because I've got a better view around these rocks than them, so I can keep pinging this map, keep showing where the enemy is, and keep them marked. So now Tiger 2 coming down. I've got a shot on him here. Take out the gun breach. For some reason this gun is amazing at taking out gun breaches, but nothing else. I do take out 2 of his crew as well, so I take out the gunner and I think the loader or commander. So got on a few good shots in here as well. Now, this is just before I'd unlocked artillery, unfortunately. The next game I will show you will have a little bit more artillery action in it. But this one, as I say, is more of a scouting role. So I'm just keeping in this location. Now, it is a bit dangerous, but the fact I've not really killed anyone, I've not really killed anyone with respawn points. So they can't just jump back in a plane and start pounding me. Now, poke out, ping the Dickomax. Unfortunately, there's nobody on my side that can actually get to that Dickomax. I'm also pinging that Panther again. So again, that Panther A is shown where its location is. So we can really find out. Now, I'm just trying to edge around just because I want to get rid of that Dickomax because that's causing me problems. If I can get a shot off on it, good. Unfortunately, I overextend. I'm very lucky here. So, as you can see, the shot's gone through my tank, and it's just hit my engine bay. And what you'll notice here is I'm actually reversing the tank rather than going forwards. Now, this is because this tank, the engine and the gearbox are in the front. The fuel compartments are in the back. You also do have some ammo here, so you have got to be a little bit careful. But the good thing is this ammo is pretty protected. There's a bit of armor here to stop the shell going through. Now, you can see where that Dickomax is shooting now. You can see these massive holes. 105mm shells, I think they are, going through my tank and into this fuel tank. But being a sealed fuel tank, it's not going to cause too much damage. Now I'm able to repair my track and move out the way now. So my location is definitely given away. I'm showing where I am, but I can still harass this Panther, and I'm still pinging on the map where he is. I'm still showing our team, but there is a Panther there, and it can be dangerous. Now we've got some friendlies going up to the left here. It's the Hellcat going up there. So instead of it going up there blind and not knowing that there's a Panther there, he now absolutely can see that there is one there, and he can be more cautious. Also, I've been pinging out Dickomax, sort of saying where it is, and again, it means that that Hellcat can hopefully avoid being taken out by that Dickomax. If he's paying attention, he'll be able to do it. Now, what I'm hoping here is that Hellcat will get that Dickomax's attention, and I can poke out and take some shots at it to start sort of taking it away from the action. He's starting to move. I can see his he's starting to get a bit worried, so he's backing up the hill. Now, as you can see, he's pretty much in his spawn right now. You could say I'm spawn camping sitting here, because I am firing into their spawn, but the fact that the enemy are sat in the spawn as well does sort of mean, well, you guys are not really moving. Smoke screen, I see my chance. Take a shot, take out his gun breach and his loader, and I'm blind firing into the smoke now, just hoping to get an extra shot on that Dickomax. Now there's a Panther F coming down the hill now. Take a snapshot at it, ricochet off the turret armor, but because I've hit it, I have managed to show its location. Managed to take out the Dickomax's loader, so that Dickomax is now wounded, but it's also no longer camping that spot. So our team can now get up this hill and start taking out the enemy, basically. And while I'm here, I can keep an eye, keep pinging the map, show our team where the enemy is, so that the guys aren't going up there blind. And that's what you have to do in a scout. Now, you're not going to score the most points in a scout while scouting. There's a whirlwind coming down the hill now. Take the shot, manage to take out his gun crew, so that's again possibly going to save some of the teammates. The big thing is you play a support role, and this tank is very much a support tank because you lack that damage to actually take people out generally, unless you get a very lucky shot. The Panther comes down, he's just about to take out a few of the team, managed to snap a shot into his gun breach. The Dicamax is now being taken out, so again, got assist streaks. I've got the assists are building up basically. And as you can see, I'm starting to get awards and things like that. So, although it's not the most fulfilling sort of way of doing it, scouting, because you're not going to get the most kills, you're not going to get the, you're not going to absolutely annihilate everybody, but you are going to be able to get some extra bonus points, and you are going to be able to help the team. And as teamwork goes, the scout role is super important, and it works really well. One of the issues I do find with people with the scouting vehicles at the moment is they're not playing it as a scout. For instance, the RU-251, people play it as a attacker, and well, fair enough. There is a important P-47 coming down, take some shots at it, get a few extra points for shooting at the plane as it's crashing. But the scouting role is important as a scout. So the RU-251, if you can get behind the enemy lines and scout them out, awesome. But what they tend to do is they go for kills over scouting. And at the end of the day, it doesn't work too badly if it works well. But as you can see here with the points, I finished 3rd overall. I've only got 1 kill this game, but I've managed to get 6 assists. Now, the assists are, one was from scouting technically, but pretty much all of them were scouted. There was like 1 or 2 which, because I'd hit them, I also got the assist for that. But as you can see, the game I scored relatively well. The guy at the top at the moment, that Hellcat, who had helped sort of find the location, he's had 6 kills, and he's not that far in front of me. It's only a couple of 200 points in front of me, and that really does make a difference there. So, as you can see, scouting can work really well. The other thing to notice on our team is look at our death ratio. We have a lot of players that haven't died once in this game, and all of these players, the exception of this M4A1A1, would be able to respawn in another vehicle with ease. Now this is more of a active scouting role. So, the last game I would consider it more passive. This time it's more of an active role. And what I say by active is, like the RU-251, is taking an active role in taking out tanks. So, you get in a position where you can scout, but you also get in a position where you can kill people, if the need be. This is a much more risky way of doing it, because you will find killing people is dangerous, because the kill cam will absolutely ruin your day. I really do think that guys should need to remove the kill cam from the shot fired. So have the kill cam of the round going in. So have the shell going into the tank. See where it hit. So you can go, oh okay, that's why I died. But don't have it from the perspective of the player that shot. Don't have the replay of a player shooting you, because it gives away their position. And now that they want to have scouting in the game, the kill cam is absolutely killing the scouting role. It really does make scouting very hard, because as a scout tank you rely on stealth, and you may rely on a location where you can get a good vantage point from. The problem with that is you might be in a location where you can't move because you're stuck in a position. In this game, that was my case. I couldn't really move out of my position without dying, because if I did move, I would have been taken out, most likely by a tank at far range. So, they're coming in. Now, this is Domination, I think. Game modes, Conquest 2. So it's in the sidearm. Now, shot just misses me there, so I got very lucky. You do get a lot of long-range shots, so you have got a bit of risk getting to locations. Of course, it is a risky process getting this far this soon. And that's where speed comes in, and some of the faster scout tanks are better at that. You know, you will have an easier time of getting to a position where you can scout in a faster vehicle, and that's really where this tank loses a lot of its scouting ability. As I said, as a passive scout, it can work quite well because you've got that sort of low profile. The only real thing that gives you away are the antennae. Completely missed that tiger, by the way. I just did not see it, I don't think. Completely missing it there, completely blind. Oh well. I was playing this today, and I will say that I was just tired because I was out partying. I will use that as an excuse for that. Anyway, so again I'm reversing around. Now, I probably should have gone forwards in this respect so I could actually cap the line a little bit quicker, because we are pretty... we've got a lot of tanks in A at the moment, so it's a pretty safe bet that I would have been okay there. The other thing with reversing in this tank is because your turret and gun is at the back of the tank, you've got less of the tank to go around to poke out, basically. So it's a safer option of safer way of getting your gun out and getting on target. Anyway, we're going to move now to the position where I wanted to get to for scouting. And this is a really good scout spot because there's lots of rocks you can hide behind. The good thing about rocks to hide behind is A, people can't see you, but B, people can't shoot you. And that's the thing you have to be most careful of with scouting, is people shooting you, of course. If somebody gets your location and starts shooting you, everybody can sort of see you. Because they see shots going into a place, then people look at it, and it basically gives away your whole spot. So, I climb up here, I'm trying to spot any targets, and that Yak Tiger, can't really see it there because of the sandstorm, so very hard. But there is a Ferdinand here, and this is the side of the map where I want to be scouting, because we've got pretty much everybody on the right, but nobody on the left. So there's the Ferdinand. So I scouted out straight away. Now he's not looking at me, so I'm going to be able to get some shots off of this Ferdinand. So I'm going to aim for the centre of mass, go for the breach, take out his gun breach so he can't fire at me. Now I'm going to fire off and try and take out any crew. Now I have the penetration to go through the thickest armour here, so I'm going to really try and take out as much as I can. I really want to take out a track or the driver right now, so I'm going to try and aim for that weak spot. And I just miss it, but I still penetrate, take out his driver. So now I can just sit here and happily pick away his crew. There's nobody around me, I'm really safe, so I'm just going to keep hitting him until I manage to take out his driver or his gunner when they spawn. There we go. Driver's taken out, and that's the end of that Ferdinand. Now that Ferdinand was a huge risk because it could shoot into this section with relative ease, and also many of the tanks on our team would lack the penetration to get through its frontal armour, so it could have been a big risk. There was also a Tiger 2H sat here, and again, people haven't really noticed him. He sort of sat just behind. Let's just pause this for a second and look at it in the free camera. There's the IS-6 here, which obviously has noticed him, but there's two Tiger 2s on this guy, and he's a little bit of a hill here, so he can sort of see in third person view, and he is shooting at this Tiger, obviously, as we can see the shots just rung into the turret here, but this guy's in a bit of trouble. Now this Tiger has set off smoke, so he can't be seen, so that he's pretty much in a position where he's sneaking around and trying to get to the flank. So, let's just head back. So I can see this guy here. I'm pointing him out, so I'm marking him on the map, and I'm able to ping him, basically. Now, a little bit of a hard spot to get a shot out, of course, because one other thing that this tank really lacks is depression, and, well, because it is so low, it's hard to get the turret on aim sometimes. That T-44 is in a big lot of trouble right now, and he's very lucky that that Tiger did not notice him. So my artillery, I've called artillery on this guy, so hopefully I'll get a couple of artillery strikes, also be able to blind him a little bit. The smoke screen's dissipating. I'm trying to get up this hill, trying to get in a position where I can shoot at him. Get it? Fire straight into the turret, straight through, take out his gun bridge and his gunner. So that T-44 now hopefully spots this guy. So I get the last shot off, but just avoid fire. Now there's a third man coming in, so we've got to keep an eye on that guy. I'm going to try and long range snipe here. Now, as I said, I'm being more active in this game, shooting at people. Now, this gun is a bit iffy at long range because you just tend to have his shots just flying all around. And as you can see right here, I'm on a reload. So we've got two third mans coming. And he's been set on fire, so my scouting has pointed him out. And he's in a little bit of a hole here, so it's a bit hard for the friendlies to see him, so I keep him marked. I'm keeping him marked as much as I can. Take a shot, get a good hit on him, take out the gun bridge. So that third man's effectively neutralised now. There's a whirlwind coming as well, so again, just trying to take out this third man, keep it pinned down as much as I can. And then I'm going to work on that whirlwind. Take out the Ferdinand. The whirlwind's coming. There's an RU-251 behind me as well. Nobody's noticed him, and this could be really dangerous because we've got nobody in A right now. Now, again, my lack of gun depression is killing me right here, so I have to try and move to get a spot. Now, he's been scouted. Get on target. Unfortunately, he gets a shot off before I get mine off. So he does kill one of my teammates, but he's neutralised. Now, there was that whirlwind coming in for the cap, so again, I've got to be a bit cautious of that one. We've lost a lot of our tanks now. If we have a look at the scores, we've really effectively lost many of our vehicles here. So we're pretty much... we're losing at the moment. We're lower on tanks than they are, but we do hold the cap, and that's the important bit. We have got that cap held down, but I'm the only one near A, so I'm the only one that can protect it. So again, I've got to be very careful. I've got to try not to be spotted, but I've also got to try and keep this side clear of people. We have got one person, T-44 is basically spawn camping. But they're all spawn camping the right spawn. There's two more spawn camping up on the hill on that right spawn. But that's not going to win us the game, because somebody can easily just outflank this guy from this spawn, or they can outflank and get to A. So it's very important to have somebody here. Now there's a Carillion coming in, and also a Waffle Trader, the Waffentrager. So Carilion's spotted, and I'm keeping him spotted. I'm going to take some shots here, trying to get the aim right. Goes straight through his tank, managed to take out the machine gunner, and that's all. Oh, this shell is awful. Take out his gunner. Well, take out his commander, sorry, his gunner. Missed my follow-up shot. I've only got one more shot left before it disappears. Managed to hit his track. Well, sorry, I said one more shot. I've got two more shots. The last shot I managed to get just on target, and finally the shell actually works. But because of all that shooting, now this Waffenträger has actually sighted me. So I've got to be very careful right now, because he's obviously looking at me. Now I'm going to try and poke out here to get a shot on him. But it could be very easy for me to die. Now luckily his shot goes low, and as you can see, in this position, that rock is going to save my life. The enemy have now all spawned into planes, so they're very low on tanks. I'm pinging him on the map. This T-44 is coming around, so he's taking the Waffenträger's attention from me, and effectively now I can actually get some shots on him and take him out. Fortunately, my shot falls a little bit short, and the game is over. But we've won. As you can see here, the aim is just so wonky on this gun sometimes. It really flails around and it's very hard to get a shot. But that's the importance of scouting. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. The two different types of scouting, the active and the passive scouting. As I say, you do want to use probably a smaller scout tank for this kind of passive scouting option, because you don't want to be too high. But of course, some nations you don't have much choice. The optimal tank for it really is the ASU-57, because this tank is very low to the ground. It's a light tank, very cheap, very easy to use, but it's very small, so you can easily hide it and just use binoculars to spot people. You also do have that gun to take people out as well, but you do lack a bit of penetration. So really, this is your optimal scouting vehicle for the passive scouting. The active scouting, like I was doing that last game, you want to be using the RU-251 if you have it, because you have that very good gun on it, with the heat shell, and it is a much more effective heat shell as well. But you also have the Hesh round as well. So the RU-251 is very good for that. Unfortunately, Germany do lack a lot of scouting vehicles, and Britain doesn't have any, of course. With America, the M4A1, the Walker Bulldog, of course, is amazing. But also you've got the things like the T92, and I believe that one has the scouting mechanics, yeah. So the T92 is pretty much a amazing scouting vehicle to use, because this, again, is very low profile. You've got a very good gun, so you can easily hide this tank behind rocks. You can easily sit quite low, but if you need to, you can take out and shoot some people with it and actually effectively take them out. So in that sort of active scout role, this is probably one of the best tanks to take out in that respect. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I will catch you next time. Have a fantastic day and have a great 2018. Bye bye all.